Yeah, welcome to Tekken Tournament of Champions. You heard what I said. This is the podcast where we take our favorites in entertainment, all mediums, and put them together against each other in a tournament. And sometimes we deviate from that. And we do top 10 lists, and like last week we revealed, or this week, or next week. I don't know. I'm confused about the way we recorded these now. We did an awards episode. And then we're still in Oscars mode, by the way, so that's going to explain the topic this week. But next week we reveal 10 movies that we're going to commit to watching this year that we haven't seen before that we've been meaning to. So that's all. You know, we spice it up a little bit. The formula. I'm one of 3 talking voices on the show. My name is Jerf Werdman, and I'm joined by Jonathan Dr. Van Tyne. And
man, yeah. Full name, like the full name treatment.
And
that's beautiful.
And Kyle Subcultured Neely. That's your middle name, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
I feel like mine's really kind of professional, and y'all got really fun ones, and I hate it. So,
Jerf Wordmern. People call me that at work. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, we're continuing. We're still in Oscars mode primarily because Letterboxd. You guys need to go on that website if you're not on it. But they came up with a list idea. They do a list challenge every week, and the list idea that they did was the 10 Best Picture like snubs, the movies that were nominated but they didn't win. And some people in their lists on that website did kind of go with movies that just didn't get nominated at all. And we didn't do that. We kind of went with specifically movies that were nominated but didn't win.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we decided to rank them based on, which I ranked mine based on which was the most egregious offense, like which movie won that you're kind of like, what the fuck? Come on, and the movie that it snubbed. So this will create some good conversations, and it's a good way to go through like what the best pictures have been over the year. And I brought up an idea of doing best picture winners. We can do that next year, and that would actually create a fun tournament.
Okay.
Because it would be like we'd be putting like heavyweights against each other, and it wouldn't be clear who'd win, Mm-hmm. So that could be fun.
Yeah, because a lot of them aren't our favorite movies, so a lot of them would be like, okay, yeah. Well, I guess we'd pick our 16 favorite though, so
yeah, we would.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's not going to go chronological, that's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Number 1 is Crash.
Yeah. How did we end up with this?
I was going to say something and I totally forgot what it was now. Shit.
Good.
All right. Well, that's what we do. That's what we do with this podcast. We forget what we're going to say, and then we just keep on going.
That's like my life.
I know what I was going to say. We were not going to do a tournament this episode because these movies already lost. So why would we do that again? It just doesn't make sense to do a tournament.
Hey, all of you losers, you have a chance to lose all over again.
They're a double loser. They lost the first time, and now they're a bigger
Got a
loser.
second chance of redemption. Didn't redeem themselves. Failed.
Wrong.
God.
The best movie that wasn't even nominated was The Greatest Showman.
All right. So I just finished watching that, everybody. I didn't like The Greatest Showman. I'm sure Donald Trump would have. That's what I got to say. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so we're just going to go through our 10s, and at the end maybe do some honorable mentions because there are certainly enough years to pick an honorable mention. I have a few. The order this episode is somewhere on my list. Okay, here we go. The order is Kyle, then me, then the doctor himself.
Sweet.
J-Doc.
I got J-Doc. I got a scrub doc.
An even cooler nickname. God damn it. It's not fair.
Y'all are very giving with the good nicknames.
Yeah. Just for you, though.
And my name is a nickname, so I've already started there. So my real name is.
We're nickname sectioning you. We're going one nickname deeper. So
that's beautiful.
Started from the bottom, now you're here. I don't know why I'm going full Drake mode today, but anyway, Kyle, what's your number 10?
My number 10 comes hot off of 2001. A Beautiful Mind won that year.
Oh, yes, it did.
I feel Lord of the Rings should have won though. And
absolutely,
are we pushing it?
We are pushing it, but I gotta log in and get the soundboard pulled up. But yeah, we're absolutely pushing that because that is my that's just higher on my list. I don't know if JD
can I just say why it's so lower before we move on while you're loading that stuff up? It gets is later.
Yeah,
Lord of the Rings, it gets its later.
That's why I bumped it from 10 for the same reason and put one on there for me because I was
good.
It got its due.
It did get its due, so that's the only reason it's at number 10 for me.
Yeah, that's true. I still think putting it higher. I can justify it.
Hey, I'm right here with you, man.
You're right to do that when you're focusing on the year.
Lord of the Rings being higher on a list any day, Jeff. So,
man, I have to re-upload the fucking song. Okay, here we go. There's Push It. All right.
Here we go.
So much
it's been
later.
so long.
I know. Man. It's like 2 picks later. I play the song. Okay, so that goes into my number 10. I put A Clockwork Orange at number 10. Does anybody have that?
Hold on. I think I did.
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm pushing it just a slight push. Very slight push.
Okay. Yeah. Pushing it a little bit. And JD, what's your number 10?
Yeah, I put Apollo 13 at number 10. And it's not that I hate Braveheart or anything. It's just I like Apollo 13 a lot more.
I think you hate Braveheart.
I think I just like my history movies to actually be the history that was around.
Hey, are you trying to say that Braveheart's historically inaccurate? Because you would be absolutely right, sir.
A little bit. Yeah, and I love Braveheart for what it is, but Apollo 13 just fascinated the shit out of me when I was a kid. Yeah. It was so well made. I remember the music and just how it. I remember all the anxiety that it caused, and you know how it's going to end. Like you already know that it ends up being fine, but the ride to get there was just intense. So
yeah. Right. And as a kid, when I watched that, it not impersonated me. It made an impression on me as well. I started making like forts in my room, and I'd say they were spaceships. Oh, this is my like Apollo capsule. Right.
It's the land
dollars. Like, wow, what a weird kid. He likes Apollo 13, and he's like 8. So
yeah, I was the same age watching that as a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like all my Lego sets as a kid were rocket ships and like the Saturn rockets, and so I was already like kind of wrapped up in NASA culture, I guess.
Same
for
I
no real
had
reason.
a NASA space jacket, like one of those blue jackets or whatever, and I wore it everywhere. And people used to pick on me at school all the time. It was great.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
It was great.
I know, yeah. That's why I was just like, I don't give a shit. Dude, I have a NASA jacket. Like, it's just jealousy.
I definitely had Apollo 13 lower on my honorable mentions because I can understand why Braveheart won that year.
Oh,
honestly. Sure. And I absolutely did watch Apollo 13 way more, and I didn't watch Braveheart until recently. But like, I still was like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, I get why it won. But
yeah, I do too.
I just like favorite it.
It's, this was a biased pick. The rest are all
totally. Man, that's my number 10. My number 10 is Clockwork Orange, and it's so low. It's because it's fucking biased as shit. It's biased as shit, y'all. All right, so Kyle, we're back to your number 9. Yeah, we're back to your number 9.
And number 9 is a very recent movie, both of you. I got to be honest, I never saw Moonlight, but I think La La Land should have won. I'm just sorry, I don't know. While Moonlight probably tells a really great story and really powerful story, or whatever, like La La Land really does something for its genre in a big way.
Totally
it brings it kind of modernizes it and brings it back into the conversation. And I wouldn't this stupid like Barnum and Bailey circus movie you just saw aside, I wouldn't doubt like seeing a whole bunch of more like big budget musical movies on the horizon because of it. So I think La La Land's just a great movie, man, and I went and saw that movie by myself. I've echoed on this podcast many times because I was just like, I know it's special, I'm gonna go see it, and the whole world can be damned.
Yeah.
And I was definitely the youngest person by about 60 years, so it was good. It was just a really good view.
That was literally like my number 11, and I saw Moonlight, and I like Moonlight, and that's the reason that it's so low is because like Moonlight is like, okay, I kind of get why they voted for that, but at the same time, La La Land's the one that I feel like people will go back to 10 years from now and cite it as an influence for a bunch of things.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And in regards to Moonlight, in 10 years, I don't know that people will say the same, so I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's, and like, again, I haven't seen it, but that's just kind of the impression for me.
It's just not rewatchable, really.
We won't be talking about Moonlight like 5 to 10 years from now, but we will be talking about La La Land, and also La La Land 2, Back to La La. So
yeah.
Back to La La. The re-la-la-ing.
The re-la-la-ing.
Oh, Jesus. La versus La.
And then obviously the threequel, La La Land 3D. So,
of course, you have this all thought out. That's perfect. Yeah. Oh man, that sounds amazing.
They have to do that shared universe like they're doing for everything else. So
yeah, exactly. So my number 9 is a movie. Number 9. My number 9 is a movie from the year 2005 when Crash won, but I think I picked a different one from the one that you guys picked. Anyway, 2005. I don't know. I go back and forth on Crash. Like, I have arguments for why it's not good, but I feel like people would put the 2005 whatever they picked for that year, they would put it much higher in their list. I go back and forth on it. Sometimes it doesn't bother me. I'm in a mood where it doesn't bother me right now. So anyway, I still would have picked a different movie because there was Brokeback Mountain was nominated that year, and Munich, which I think you guys might bring up later. I don't know. We'll find out. But I went with Good Night and Good Luck. That movie should have won Best Picture.
I have not seen that yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
It's so fucking good. I can't believe how good it is. Like, it's a George Clooney directed movie.
Black and white, right?
Yeah, it is. It's black and white, and it follows this radio / television journalist who is reporting against McCarthyism, and it's just the matter-of-fact nature that he was reporting the news and how people were reporting the news back then that kept me really interested in it, because they're literally just talking shit about the government and saying the news like as it is, and there's no goddamn fluff or take a look at this squirrel dressed in a bikini or whatever. There's no
a midget.
That squirrel
in a bikini.
is adorable.
midget in a bikini. South Park. Oh man. But there's just none of that. There's no fluff. It's just a guy with a microphone talking to the camera, being honest with the country about this is like what the job of the press is supposed to be, challenging authority when they're in the wrong. And McCarthyism was a fucking dangerous thing at that time. And they inserted real clips of McCarthy, and like audiences were like, no, that's not the actor you guys hired for McCarthy is fucking overwhelmingly bad. He is so just.
But that was actually him?
And it's actually him, yeah.
Oh, wow.
People were like, he is so over the top. He needs to cool it. That actor that you chose for that. And Clooney's like, dude, that's not an actor. That's the real guy.
Oh, my God.
It's fucking crazy. But yeah, I think the black and white stuff added a lot to it, kind of to help you put you in that time frame and stuff like that. And I just think there was just a lot of interesting stuff they did in the way they filmed it. And David Strathairn as the lead is fantastic. And Clooney's in it too. Robert Downey Jr.'s in it. He plays like a writer for CBS News. Patricia Clarkson, Frank Langella, Jeff Daniels. But before he got all what's his name from the newsroom?
Oh, damn it.
Will something.
I know it's Will.
He's also in that new show on Hulu, The Looming Tower, and he's fucking great in it. He has so many Will type moments from the newsroom.
Have you watched all that?
The first 3 episodes they put out, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got many fuck you moments in it that are just like straight from the newsroom. It's so great.
Nice.
Alex Borstein's in it. There's just a lot of people that are in it, and you should see it. And that's what I got for it. I don't know why I'm doing high pitched voice. But JD, what's
Are we ending? I'm okay. Thanks everybody. I'm from Subcultured, and
yeah, when I do that, you guys think we're ending. So JD, what's your number 9?
Oh, sorry, Will McAvoy. There we go. I had to get that out of my head.
Yes,
it was Will
McAvoy. Jesus,
it's kind of get that out. Yeah, me too. I pushed Clockwork, and this is where it landed for me.
Okay.
For me, it was kind of simple. Like, The French Connection is a fantastic movie with a very memorable scene.
Yeah,
and like I could just watch that one scene over and over again and be fine. But Clockwork has many very, very good and just engaging scenes in it.
Right.
So it kind of edges out for me, but I definitely understand why that movie wouldn't get picked, because it's not conventional. It's not for everybody.
It's the only movie though that got nominated for Best Picture of Kubrick's. Which is the most
just
frustrating
weird
part of it, and that's why I put it number 10. Because I do see the value in French Connection winning. It's a great movie and it has a great ending. I don't know the depths that these guys go to, and they fuck up all along the way to catch this like one guy. But yeah, Clockwork Orange has a more thought-provoking message behind it, and it's just fucking beautiful, and it's just haunting, and it'll fuck you up, and it's supposed to, and it's great. It's just one of my, it's like number 2 movies of all time. So
yeah,
so
just that.
Yeah,
just that. It's fine.
That's just that. It's only my number 2 of all time. Don't worry about it.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely didn't have nightmares
I
about
don't
that.
know where you liked it so much. That's crazy.
That eyeball scene, watching that at a sleepover, I think when I was 12, like has never left my brain. Watching that for the first time, man.
I was aware of that, imagery, but I wasn't. I didn't see it until I was like 19 or 20, and I only saw the first half. And then when he went to prison, I was like, okay, I was at a friend's house watching it with a bunch of friends, and then I was like, okay, guys, I gotta go, whatever, because it was late. And that shit stuck with me, man. I was like, man, I really got to see that movie. It wasn't until a few years later when I finally got a Blu-ray player that was like my first purchase. I was like, I gotta finish this fucking movie, and it just God, it blew me away. I think I watched it like consecutively, like back to back. That first time I watched it, because it was just like it ended, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck is this movie? Like it just, that deserves to win over French Connection in my opinion. Like it's just when you think about that, like the directing style in this movie and the approach and how everything is just like a goddamn unsettling painting. And French Connection is just like it's a good movie, you know?
Yeah.
It's just comparatively, I don't know. I felt like there was just more to take away from Clockwork Orange. So that's why I put it on my list. And it's not like meant to say like, oh, fucking French Connection. Like it's kind of like the way you're saying it at a number 9. It's
right.
Like, you're not saying fuck French Connection, but you know, over Clockwork Orange, fuck French Connection.
Yeah. Came down to the 2.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and for the purposes of the list, it did. So there you go. Malcolm McDowell killing it.
So
fucking
Kyle,
killing it.
K. Niels, what's your number 9? 8. Sorry, 8.
I'm going to take you guys on a ride for my number 8 real quick because the movie that won this year should have won. So it's really not a snub, but the reason I chose it is because I really feel like if this movie came out any year, it would have gotten snubbed. So my number 8's The Revenant. Spotlight deserves the win. Duh. No duh that movie was going to win that year.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like, oh, what a surprise or whatever. But I just feel like The Revenant, no matter what year that movie would have came out, it would have gotten snubbed. Everyone would go, well, Kyle, he got best actor, for that. Yeah, he was owed that one. So
that was a debt.
It was barely for that
reward.
movie. It was barely for that movie, So I just feel like it's a movie that's like it's one of the most beautiful shot. To me, it's one of the most beautifully shot movies like ever. I could just sit there and just watch those. I could watch that movie on mute while like having like music in the background or whatever, just on all like the panoramic shots of all the vistas and everything. It's just awesome, man. Just one of my favorite movies of all time. It's just a really beautiful movie. I mean, you could really dissect the shit out of this movie in terms of just filmmaking. Again, I'm not trying to knock Spotlight off its pedestal because it deserves the win. I talked about one of the most emotionally evoking movies I've ever experienced in my entire life. Just the Fear Shack, the sheer fact that I think that it would be
the Fear Shack. No, you had it right.
Yeah, the sheer fact.
Fear Shack.
Fear Shack.
It's the Fear Shack.
It would never win in any year. So I picked it. Number 8. That's why it's so low.
I think 2015 is a great year, and I did have a number 12. I did have 2015 at number 12. I had a different movie, though. I picked Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, that's another one that deserves it, but would have never win ever.
Exactly.
In a million years, that movie would never win. Even though, again, that's one of the most technical filmmaking movies of all time. Like, it's just like when you look at it and that guy's like, yeah, we tried not to use as much CG as possible. How?
Then we made all these cars. Fucking how?
Yeah, we actually went out to the desert and drove them and really crashed them, and we hired circus people and we blew things up. It's like, what?
That's why primarily it's so high, is because like Spotlight is great, and I think it's watchable anytime you watch it. It feels timeless, even though it's clearly in a specific decade, at a specific time, because the way they take notes and stuff like that. But Mad Max is just a movie that 10 years from now you're never not going to be blown away by the colors in that movie and how practical everything is.
It's never going to look old because of how practical it is.
Exactly. And also that year, I mean, you could even make an argument for Big Short because it's fucking awesome, and you could even make an argument for. I know people like The Martian a lot too. I don't, but
book was better. Hate to be that person. Okay. Book was so much better.
Well, that's fair. All right, that's fair. And as far as Moonlight goes, another nominee. Other nominees for that year were Arrival. Would have been okay with that. I mean, honestly, if something were going to snub La La Land, but La La Land for me was like the clear and present. Like, come on, like that's the fucking winner right there in my opinion. Hell or High Water, shit like that. Anyway, good years, whatever. But yeah, that just boggles my mind when like those years ended and people are like, "Oh, it wasn't a really good year for movies, was it?" I was like, fucking yes, it was. What were you watching? Just Transformers sequels? And yeah, it was a shit year. God. Anyway, so my number 8 is this could be a push. It's hold on, let me do it's Inception.
Yeah, ooh, Sinksies.
It's a little bit of a push.
A little bit of a push?
Okay.
I almost hit the fart. Okay, there's a push it, right?
Is it a push for you, JD?
Yeah, it was my number 8 too, so we synced up on that.
Oh, then we can just talk about it now because it's my number 7.
Oh shit.
Nice. Well, shit.
Well, we're going into multiple rankings with the same movie.
But
Whoa, one more movie. Anyways.
Yeah, that is true. Oh man. we went 3 rankings deep, Tars. That's not the right movie.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Let's go one more love deeper. Oh damn it, God. Anyways, I guess I'll start it off since it's my turns or whatever. What? I'm sorry. What one this year? Where am I at? What year is this? What year is it?
What year is it?
King's Speech won this year.
2010.
Yeah, that bullshit.
2010.
Fucking break. 5 other movies could have won other King's Speech.
The King. Yeah, the King.
dude.
No thanks. That guy stuttered really well. Oh, we're gonna give it to
Black
that one.
Swan would have definitely taken that. Social Network definitely would have taken
actually-
that.
that's what I was on the fence about.
Black Swan, The Fighter, The Social Network,
The
any of
Fighter's
that.
so good.
Toy
I
Story
love
3
The
I would have
Fighter.
taken too.
Fighter's super good.
127 hours I would have taken. Seriously, I would have taken like 5 movies over King's Speech. Like,
Yeah.
King's Speech is pretty good, but like you see it once and you're like set. You don't ever need to see it
Never
again.
seen it again.
Not memorable. He shot the movie weird, where the camera's in everybody's face. It's really bizarre.
Well, I'm glad y'all
Battlestarred
chose this one. This is a loaded year, and we all kind of chose the same one. So that's good for you guys, and good for me, and good for all of us.
I was all over the place on it, honestly. Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know. Chris Nolan's never gonna get a best movie. He just won't. Like, I don't know. It says the Academy's never gonna pay that forward to him. So I had to choose one of these movies, and I think this is one of the better ones that had the potential of, because I don't even think Interstellar was nominated for best movie, so we can't really push that one forward.
Not at all.
No, it wasn't.
Dunkirk, we don't know yet. He may win. I doubt it, but we'll see. How do y'all feel about that? Do you think Dunkirk could take it?
No,
No.
I don't think it can. Not this year.
Not in a million years, right?
I think it deserves it, but it's not going to get it.
Yeah,
Of course
right.
you do.
Yeah, I know, but like I also think Shape of Water deserves it,
That's
and I
true.
also think Three Billboards deserves it. But
Yeah, same here. And I think it's between those two and not like Dunkirk or some people keep throwing out Get Out as a dark horse because they're racist. Okay, the
That's
dark horse
before
doesn't
it,
have to be
like,
dark.
that just sounds
I'm just
off-putting.
kidding. No, but they really are throwing out Get Out as a dark horse, and I'm kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't be bothered if that won. That would be a great moment, but like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, like Del Toro's definitely going to win for me.
Yeah.
Like, I know you agree. I think he's going to win. So just pair it up. I'd be fine. Then just pair it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Give them both.
They haven't paired it up in the last like 2 years, apparently. With Damien Chazelle winning last year, and then Moonlight winning Best Picture, and then the year before, I think it was fuck, I already forgot.
La La Land won for about a minute and a half.
It did, but I
No.
like that they're giving the old fucks. Sorry, that's like the least like delicate and sensitive way to talk to other people.
Talking
Whoever
about, like,
announced it
factual.
last year.
Warren
But
Beatty.
factual,
It was Warren Beatty
factual.
and Faye Dunaway.
That's right, a Bonnie
And
and
he grabbed the
Clyde.
wrong fucking card.
So they're going to get a chance to redeem themselves with the Best Picture.
Good. Let's trust them
yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Great.
You're impossible. That's what I remember from the moment. But when Spotlight won, the best director I think went to Alejandro Inarritu for The Revenant. So it's like another thing where like the director,
Oh, he did get Best Director for that.
Yeah,
So
he
I
did.
guess that movie did get a little bit of a nod.
a little bit, yeah. And
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the same thing could happen this year. It kind of depends on how Academy voters were satisfied or whatever that Three Billboards met the kind of aligned with like the Me Too Time's Up thing at the Golden
Yeah.
Globes and stuff like that. And if the Academy is just kind of like, if the voters are kind of like tired of talking about it or whatever, I don't know how they feel about it. We'll have to see when the day comes. But if they're like still on that course, then they're probably going to put Three Billboards at the top. And if they're kind of like, all right, well, if they let enough people get into their ear about the racist cop or whatever, then they're going to vote for Shape of Water, and it's bullshit because we've already had our rants about that movie on this podcast. But yeah, Shape of Water, I'd like to see that win. I'd like to see Three Billboards. I'd like to see like at least 6 movies win this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking
This
crazy.
is the first year I've been super educated on almost every. Call Me by Your Name is the only movie I haven't seen that's in this whole like Oscar mix.
Oh, okay.
You didn't see the movie where they had to digitize Army Hammer's nutsack out of his short shorts?
Dude, that honest
That's
trailer was
crazy.
great.
You should get around to that
Great
one.
Italian shirt shortage. Like,
Oh man, I had no idea about
stuff.
that until I saw the Honest trailer.
Yeah, me neither. I was just like,
It's
that's not
terrible.
real. And I looked it up. I go, totally real. Yeah, good job on it.
so they're just that big, or just
I don't know. They're either that big or their shorts are that short. I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, the shorts were that short/tight apparently.
Damn.
I forgot where we were. Inception in 2010.
Inception in 2010. Inception. Inception gets a big nod for me because it's got all the moving components for like Best Picture. I mean, like, you know, it's got a original script. It's written, that script was written by the director. You know, you could give this guy Best Director for this movie. I mean, he fucked that hallway scene to begin with by setting everything up practically and everything. It's just, man, I mean, like, directors could like study off of Chris Nolan and learn a thing or two about shooting like practical scenes and everything. Yeah. I don't know. There's just everything, the music, you know, every moving part in that movie is best quality, Best Picture for me, you know, and I think that's, you know, this is a good Christopher Nolan movie to push forward to be that, like, you know, you guys snubbed. Y'all could have given him this one. Y'all could have given him this one, and we could have all been happy, and Chris Nolan fans could have shut up for the rest of, you know, for the rest of time. But he's never gonna. I don't know. He's just never gonna win, man.
Yeah. If he's not gonna win with Dunkirk, which he won't because it's just the wrong year for it, I guess, compared to the other competition, then I don't know that he will, because that's the most that's the one. Unless he makes a movie about Hollywood, then he's fucking game. You know, he's gonna win all the awards.
Yeah, right.
True.
But I did like at least 5 times go back and forth between Inception and Black Swan, because I do regard Black Swan as like pretty much a perfect movie for what it was set out for doing. And I only saw it once, but at the same time, Inception, the fact that I am watching it over and over again kind of stands like for how I don't know how well it stands up over time. You know, you just want to keep watching it over and over and over again and catch more details on it and stuff. Social Network, I argued that year that should have won Best Picture, because it was like, how the fuck did you make that movie interesting? But that's not true. You know, we've had enough years pass to where like we're 8 years removed from the 2010 Oscars now, where I'm kind of like, Inception's the one I go back to though. I've still only seen Social Network once, and I've been meaning to watch it again because it's a great movie.
It is,
but it's still like, I think about how dark it is and shit, visually and just storyline wise. In Toy Story 3,
even the music. Very somber.
Yeah, very. Trent Reznor.
I think you nailed it. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah. 99 Nails. Yep.
There we go.
That's the band.
Yeah, exactly. That's the right one. They did a great fucking job with that, making it like a scattered piece and everything. But yeah, I'd think of that and I'm like, man, this is dark. I don't know if I'm in the mood to watch that again. But yeah, 127 Hours is another one on par with like Social Network, where like on paper you're like, that's not going to work as a full movie, and it does.
Yeah, it does. It.
And it's suspenseful. And
if you ever want to see Squints like commit, especially now, everyone hates this guy now. If you want to see him commit like body horror to himself, go watch this movie.
There you go. You will hate it. Because I had problems with that movie for sure. Like in terms of being able to sit through it. Like, sorry, my phone vibrated. Because when he gets to that nerve on his arm,
I can't watch this movie.
I can't even like it's
no. I've never seen it, so I'm not gonna.
I feel like I'm gonna pass out.
Yeah, nope.
That was
not for me.
Theater.
Just not for me. Not for me.
You should watch it, Duty.
Yeah. Have you not seen it?
It was it was part of my boycott of Squints back when my sister wouldn't shut the fuck up about him.
Oh,
she's obsessed.
I am gonna nominate a Danny Boyle director's series as soon as possible.
Okay.
You son bitch. You son bitch. Really striking a nerve with me on that one, Kyle.
Literally, yeah.
God damn, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to fucking watch that. I'll watch a bear eat a bitch's throat out, but I don't
finish up his catalog.
Fair, I guess. Whatever.
I will watch it again with JD and just watch him during that scene.
Just
stare at him.
Just hold me.
Oh man.
Take my hand, squeeze it when you're uncomfortable, and I'll skip.
Oh my god, it's okay. It's just makeup, right? It's just makeup.
No, they really
makeup and prosthetics.
He's so method. He actually cut off his arm.
Yeah,
he cut off his arm.
Prosthetic to his
very American director. Yeah, it's very good.
He has one of those arms that's very lifelike and real that only actors can afford.
It's like the guy from Arrested Development that has the fake arm.
Yeah, and that's why.
That's why you leave a note. And that's why you don't teach lessons. But Dad, it was my final lesson.
Toy Story 3 is another one that didn't made me feel lots of things, but watching it again, especially when you watch the trilogy back to back, you kind of see familiar story arcs and beats. Sure. So that's the only reason I would have. It was either between Inception or Black Swan for me, and Inception is just the one I watched over and over and over and over and over again. And I think of that score too. That score is
so good.
It's goddamn magnificent, dude. It's Hans Zimmer's fucking opus.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. Time is regarded by a lot of people that aren't just Nolan fanboys as like one of the best pieces of musical score ever written. Like just
Well, they're right. I mean, they'd be right for
song-wise.
feeling that way.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my number 8, JD's number 8, and Kyle's number 7. So shit, now we're at my number 7. Shit.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Shit, son.
Shit.
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 Sorry.
Shit,
Hey,
son.
hold on. Shh. 1 second. Shit. All right.
All right, my number 7 was a push from earlier. It's Lord of the Rings for the Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Great.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. But yeah, that was 2001 with A Beautiful Mind. That one, and Kyle had that at number 10, right?
My number 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Apparently, he hates Fellowship of the Ring. So
No, I prefaced so you couldn't do this, all right? And you did it anyway. Okay, that's fine. I hate it. It's fine.
Yeah, and I left it off my list for an inferior movie, in my opinion, and I'm not even getting shit for it. So he's just
I know.
just
Yeah.
got a vendetta
I'm
against
getting
you, man.
crucified while
Yeah.
JD hates the movie more. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's accurate.
Yep, totally accurate. So I ended up going this way because I did see A Beautiful Mind very recently, and it was good. You know, it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
It's fine.
I watched it once, like way back in the day.
But when you when you compare like what Ron Howard did to what Peter Jackson had to do with
Yeah.
Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings, and this was our first, I guess, real cinematic live action version of Lord of the Rings, and we're just like, how is this possible? He's probably couldn't even pull it off, and he fucking does it. And this movie is so good. So I just feel it's kind of an obvious choice for winner. I just very, very surprised that Beautiful Mind even took it.
You know, if they put Tom Bombadil in the movie, it would be higher. And I bet you don't even
good
get
call.
that.
Yeah, no Bombadil's a knock for sure.
Yeah.
The whole beginning of the movie's different without him. Like,
The whole movie is different without him.
yeah, it's true.
It's
Moulin Rouge was also nominated, and I know you guys love that movie, so clearly...
Yeah, come what may.
so
Come
sorry.
what may, you know. It's whatever.
Fuck that movie, piece of shit. The Greatest Showman is last year's Moulin Rouge, where everybody
So
loves
you don't
it,
like
and I
Moulin
watch
Rouge?
it, and I'm like,
You don't like Moulin Rouge?
what?
You don't like Moulin Rouge?
No, I don't really care for it.
Okay.
I thought it was
Well, I've
fun.
never seen it. Yeah, so I can't.
I get your complaints. You voiced them several times, and I understand. It's a fucking stupid, whimsical movie. But I like some of the songs. I sang them and shit. So
Yeah.
whatever. I got an attachment to them.
I like those songs better. If you hear Greatest Showman, you'll be like, this is just like Kelly Clarkson songs. Like, what the fuck is this? It's just poppy bullshit.
I would not want that.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Whereas Moulin Rouge is more of a jukebox musical where it's just popular songs from our past that they sing over and over again, and some originals. But yeah, there's like Roxanne's in it and shit like that, and Roxanne, and there's some other shit. I don't remember the other stuff. Anyway,
Nailed it.
Fellowship of the Ring I felt was like the obvious choice, and the fact that Beautiful Mind won, which is kind of like it felt like a TNT biopic, is just weird to me.
Hollywood loves their biopics, especially ones that don't treat the character with historical accuracy, because he's way different in real life.
It's
so
way different. Russell
there you
Crowe
go.
is great in the movie, and I think
He is,
did
though.
win Best Actor, which is deserved, but
yeah.
still.
Ed
come
Harris is really good in that too, as the well, I won't spoil it, but yeah, he's another character in the
on.
movie.
He's another character in the movie. He's great. That's all we need to know.
Yep.
And Jennifer Connelly, she's fantastic in it too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Peter Jackson just had more of a hill to climb for Fellowship of the Ring, and I felt like it should have
Yeah,
gotten
I
his
mean,
due.
he did the impossible with that movie,
Mhm.
and that's the best fantasy movie to ever come out at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no one had ever done anything like that, like on that scale, with that budget, like with that much practicality, like with those many extras. You know, like there was a lot going on in that movie.
Dude,
and I will never get over how they shot like the forced perspective shots to make
Oh
like.
man, that stuff
Yeah,
is
it's fucking
fascinating.
Like, people still don't do that. Like,
That was probably
he was doing this like 20 years ago, you know, and like people still don't do that. People haven't like recaptured that in any way. And it never looked weird or jarring or anything. It always looked like spot on. And yeah, maybe it's awesome, man. It's just 3.5 hours of just like a movie that like when I walked out of it as a kid, like, you know, I didn't really think about this stuff when I was a kid, but like I would have never thought in a million years that the world would have loved that movie, but the world was taken for a ride. Man, my mom watched those movies, you know,
Yeah,
like
same here.
Dude,
they
all
were
my
Star-
family
yeah,
loves
it
loves
was
it.
like, it was like Star Wars, you know, but fantasy. So I mean, like it was that big of a surprise and a wow. I'm like, they fucking pulled it off, and I imagine that's how people were in the 70s. Like, how did they do that? They like we were in space there. Like that's how people were after walking out of Lord of the Rings. Like, dude, we were in Middle Earth, you know, like we were there, you know, like it was cool, you know, it was really, really, really big feat to pull off. And I've never seen Beautiful Mind. There's no fucking way that.
And you it doesn't come close. And you did mention that Return of the King does get its due, and it literally swept that entire year for the Oscars.
Yeah, right.
For every nomination that it got. But I don't know, Fellowship being the introduction, it felt like there was a lot riding on it, and it deserved more of it at that time. Like when. Sure. Especially even in 2002, like when Chicago won, which I actually like Chicago, so I'm kind of like not mad. So I'm kind of not mad about that. But when Chicago won Best Picture and Two Towers was also nominated, it's kind of like, well, just vote for which one is actually good. Like which one's actually better. Like, I don't know. I still like Chicago, but I mean, at the time, it's kind of like what's riding on it. Like how can Peter Jackson replicate what he did in Fellowship of the Ring for Two Towers, and he does it, and he nails it, and they vote for the musical. Like it's just weird to me.
Yeah. Right.
I love Chicago. I'm not even gonna front. I love the movie Chicago. I didn't even include it on my honorable mentions as a movie that should have lost. Sorry, I didn't. I feel like I'm about to be showing up on that though. Anyway,
might get some words later. I don't know.
Might get some words later. I don't know what's going on. But Beautiful Mind, I do actually recommend it in terms for its performance and where the story goes, because I didn't know anything about it, and it was a good, it's a good movie. It's decent. Not superior to Fellowship though. Anyway, so JD, what's your number 7?
Let's see. Oh, I put Goodfellas as my number 7. Is that getting pushed?
It's getting pushed just a little bit. It's my number 6, so let's just talk about it.
Okay, cool. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I played the push-up music already. Oh, my bad. It is my number 6 too. So it's another 3-level deep synchronization.
All right,
get it, guys.
Yeah. All right. Good shit.
Oh yeah, I guess mine would be the one where we talk about it. So Dances with Wolves won that year, and it's just overall, your laugh on that. It's just overall just not a good year for nominations, because Ghost was nominated that year.
Yeah,
like,
movie's fine.
What the fuck? Like I watched it recently, and it was
Godfather
fine,
3.
And Godfather Part 3, yeah.
Wasn't anything better than Godfather 3?
What
Nothing?
the fuck is going on in 1990?
A movie with that Sofia Coppola performance cannot and should not win anything.
It's like a legacy nomination.
It's that ruining.
Like, remember Francis Ford Coppola? Remember when he made good movies? Let's just throw him a nomination here.
Yeah. But those movies won, though, they were worth it.
Exactly. But Dances with Wolves won, and I think it might have swept, or I don't know, all the nominees, or all of the awards it got nominated for, but I could be mistaken on that. It won a numerous amount of awards. Whatever. Anyway, Dances with Wolves, I watched it, and it's a good movie, but we're talking about Goodfellas here. Like, Goodfellas is like, I mean, one of the most influential gangster movies, whatever.
It's probably 90s. The best gangster movie of all time.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Just period.
Yeah. You have Godfather, which kind of paved the way and allowed Goodfellas to come about, honestly.
Yeah,
and Goodfellas is just a different tone of it. It's more of a fast-paced, quicker world, bigger personalities that clash, and it's a true story kind of too, right? Like with that's a real guy. Yeah.
They're a real guy. They're all real people, and he really went to witness protection and everything. I don't know how factual it is though. So.
Right. And I'll never forget the level of paranoia that Scorsese put us in when Henry, whatever, he's being like chased by a helicopter and he's on cocaine and he's just like, I was so nervous for him. It's just so well shot. God damn it. It's just a fucking immaculate movie, and Dances with Wolves is fine. Like, it's just not the same. I don't understand this choice.
Is like really slow.
It is really slow. I finished it over 3 nights.
Wow, I'm like, it's really engrossing and immersive. It's just slow, like sluggish.
Yeah, it is.
I enjoy that movie, but like in a I never want to see it again type of way.
Yeah, I'm glad that I saw it, but I'm not gonna be like, man, this is one of my favorite movies. I'm screwed.
I gotta go back to that.
Yeah.
Last Samurai told that exact story better, so you could just go watch that movie, knock out 2 hours, you get out. Yeah. It's real easy.
And in it, I think it's along the same lines of Last Samurai, where it's misunderstood as a white savior movie because he doesn't fucking save anybody in Dances with Wolves.
Constantly, yeah, both of it. Yeah, they're both. Victims of that for sure.
Exactly.
I don't remember either of them really,
And I think JD can attest to this. Hostiles has some of that too, where it's kind of like, oh, this white guy saved your shit, and it's like nobody saves anybody in these movies. That
everybody that you meet, is that's a very harsh world. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly. And that's the thing. These guys are outsiders being introduced to a harsh, at least they're introduced to a world at a foreign world to them that is in the midst of a war. Protecting their own kind or whatever, their own culture, and he chooses to fight for them, and guess what? He gets to see them all die. Like where's the savior there? Like it's just fucking crazy. At least as far as Dances with Wolves and Last Samurai goes, Hostiles is different, but yeah, there's kind of there was some pushback on like white savior stuff on Hostiles, and you're kind of like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Everybody's an asshole in that movie. I don't know about that.
Right. I don't know anyone saving anybody.
Yeah. There's a POC in Christian Bale's squad. There's a POC in that.
Yeah. Pac. There's a Pac.
Pac.
Posh.
Tupac.
I don't know. I got nothing.
Tupac.
Hey, let's not get racist, okay? Goodfellas is it's a great pick, I think, for all of us. All of us are really smart for doing that.
Yeah, we're good people.
I feel smart.
We're better people as a result of it. Yeah.
Man. It's on Netflix, everybody. We should just go watch it after this. Fuck it.
Cool.
It's one of the most watchable movies. Like, it's a movie that it stumbles on TNT, and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm watching this now.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite thing ever, like surprise ever.
Yeah.
Is just which I don't feel anymore because I don't have a TV, but like when you're surfing through channels and I'm like, oh, Goodfellas, cool. Oh, cool, at the the prison scene where he's cutting garlic with razor blades. This is great. I remember this part. I'm gonna sit here and watch it for like 2 hours.
It's great.
I love it. Yeah. In any scene, it could be at the very end. I'm like, cool. I'll just finish this up.
It's great. It's just so fucking watchable. So that's our number. Fuck, that was number 6. My number 6. JD, what's your number 6?
Oh, number 6 is another movie with the man Pesci in it. Raging Bull, which neither of you have seen. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
No, I haven't seen that movie.
I did create a subcategory of disqualified mentions because I didn't see certain Best Picture winners or the ones that I felt should have won. Raging Bull is an example of one that I didn't see Raging Bull, but I know that it should have won over Ordinary People.
Right. And I haven't seen Ordinary People, and I know that this movie should win over that fucking movie. So right. Martin Scorsese. Look, there's a reason why The Departed was such a big deal for him to win it. Mm-hmm. It's because he lost it 4 or 5 times before and probably should have won most of those years.
Yeah.
And this definitely, I think this was his first nomination, wasn't it?
One of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Taxi Driver was before this, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true. That's right, because that was 74. But,
exactly.
Man, this movie is so fucking well shot for a boxing movie. I mean, it's definitely, it feels like an 80s movie for sure. In its look.
So Ordinary People. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that era, that's what it is. But just the performance of Robert De Niro just takes that movie to a totally different level. Like, he got his ass handed to him in that fucking movie, and the character he played in real life did too. I think he said he gained 60 pounds to play LaMotta, like in his post boxing years. Could you imagine doing that while filming? Like, you just got to put on 60
what do you have
pounds?
to do? You just take a break from filming and then come back fatter? It's crazy.
You must. Or do you just like move into a Taco Bell? Or, I mean, it's 1980, so they're not everywhere. But
it's kind of like when Tom Hanks did that for Castaway.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he filmed all of the scenes where he's kind of plumper.
That's right.
And then they broke filming for a few months. Yeah, and then they broke filming. He went to film something else. Zemeckis went to film something else too. Yeah. And then they came back after he lost all this fucking weight and filmed the last half of the movie, which is crazy. That's so nuts to me.
Yeah.
Man, so much went into that movie. I really like Castaway. People can say
I like Castaway a lot. That's another one I saw in theater young, and I'm just like, this movie was great.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like this movie. That's so
I didn't
weird.
see that one in theaters.
There's some hate for it now, but I don't get it.
Why? What's the hate all of a sudden?
I don't know. It might have been the trailers. The trailers spoiled the fuck out of the movie. Don't watch the trailers.
Well, yeah.
But I felt the movie from beginning all the way to the end. It's just everything just felt like a natural progression of the story. Like, it just felt like it couldn't have ended on a more perfect note, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
It was good. Yeah, I like that a lot. Even though he's talking to a fucking inanimate fucking object the whole time, but whatever.
You're an inanimate object.
God, in Bruges. No wonder you guys are like, you've never fucking seen In Bruges, because you can work those quotes into like anything at all.
It's great.
It's brilliant.
I love it. Yeah, Raging
yeah,
Bull's a
man.
great pick, man, because
You guys
I
need to
think
watch
many
it.
people would argue it deserves it over Ordinary People. You're
For
definitely
sure.
not alone there. But if we had seen it, we would be able to be like, yeah,
Right.
fucking, yeah.
All right.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
no, you're good.
Joe Pesci's a little more subdued, so it's a little bit more toned down. He's a little hyped up there in Goodfellas. So
And I imagine in My Cousin Vinny, which I just saw.
he's wound up in a totally different way in that
Yeah,
movie,
he is.
though.
All them
God.
Utes.
All them Utes.
Utes.
Oh, excuse me, youths.
You.
I love the rant that's like, so I did this whole ridiculous thing for you. You are now in contempt of court. Oh my God.
Oh,
I need
Yeah.
man.
I
And
need
he
to
sleeps
watch
like
that.
a baby in a loud prison. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
That train coming in at 5:30. You said that was unusual. It's like, that is very unusual, sir. That's about 15 minutes late.
It's a funny movie. It's good. It's very
it's funny,
90s.
yeah.
But you know, it's funny. It's
Good shit,
it's fun.
good shit.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey.
So number 5 for Kyle. What's your number 5?
A little show called Fargo.
Show.
Ooh,
We're gonna push that.
bullshit.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. So my number 5 is Star Wars.
We're gonna push that.
We're gonna push it. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Shut up, Salt and Pepper. All right. So JD, what's number 5?
Hey, we're gonna push it. It's Dead Poet Society.
Fuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know that we're pushing it too far, but and that's a great pick. We'll fucking see why in a second, because Jesus Christ, that winner.
Yeah.
Kyle, what's your number 4?
It's Munich.
Munich?
Munich.
Yeah.
I think it's Munch.
Munch. Thank you.
Munch.
It's about eating and why it's important. No, it's Munich. It's Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Do you have
Crash
this
was
one,
that
JD?
year.
No, I didn't put this one on my
Crash?
list, man.
Okay.
I've only seen Munich one time,
Oh, okay.
and I
Crash
was
is good,
way
man.
too young to fucking appreciate it,
Yeah,
and
you
I
need to
also
watch that
kind of
shit
love
again.
Crash. So.
Yeah, I need
yeah.
to see it again, honestly.
Yeah, y'all need to watch it again. It's good stuff.
Okay.
That's another movie where I'm just like, oh yeah, I really like that movie. I
Yeah.
should probably
Maybe
put
Crash
that one
won't
in
hold
more.
up for me. It's been years since I've watched Crash too.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Crash is as good as everyone says it is. I think it's everyone was just like attached themselves to the gimmick, you know, of like, oh, everything's like connected and all these like mini
Yeah.
stories that tell one bigger. Like, I get it's cool, you know, or whatever. But it's all like stories that we've heard. Like I've seen every single one of those stories like
Right.
elsewhere. It's like they just all happen to all be here in one place instead of just different movies. So I don't know. That's my hang up with the Crash. Jeff, you can choose a black and white movie all you want. That sounds boring. No, I'm kidding. I'm definitely gonna watch that movie. That's totally unfair. But yeah, I really like Munich a lot, and I haven't seen Brokeback Mountain, so I can't really speak to that one. So
It's
I
a
think
little
Munich
slow,
should.
so
win
that's
that
why I
year.
went with
I
the other
think
one.
It's pretty easy to ship a Steven Spielberg movie to win the Best Picture. You know, so I mean, how snub was this really? You know, he's had a pretty. I mean, he's had Best Picture like plenty of times, hasn't he?
Like won
I think,
or nominated?
I think
Or?
so.
Like one? Yeah, one.
I don't know if he's won. One
Not
on
too
the
familiar.
Schindler's List, yes. Schindler's List, that's kind of an obvious one, though.
One, you know, but yeah, Munich's a good one, and this year was, you know, like I said, there's some other good movies this year, but it's a really good movie, man. And it's just, I don't know how factual it is of the events or whatever, but man, it creates a really interesting movie, and it's really well paced. And I just saw it like recently, like a year ago or something. So it's a fun. I like it.
It's fucking good, dude.
It's good.
It looks like Schindler's List is his only win for at least Best Picture. He might have gotten director.
Yeah,
a
I
few
would have.
times
I would have
before.
guessed like 3 or 4, but I would have been
He
wrong.
did get director for Saving Private Ryan. I remember that being a controversy because we'll talk about that. But yeah, Munich is great, and I remember that being highlighted in the Spielberg documentary because every movie that he makes is relevant to how he's dealing with something that's present in our culture or in our politics or whatever. And what was happening at that time was us in our war on terror, and this movie was all about granted it was a different time frame, but it was all about the measures to which our own government would go, or what government was it that orchestrated this? I can't even remember. Was it our government? I think it was. To like get like to go to war basically and compromise, and, you know, because it's all about these characters like Eric Bana and their crew, how they would compromise their own ideologies and their own morals to get like some sense of revenge or something because the government asked them to, because they're following orders. So it's kind of like there's a parallel between that and the War on Terror. So that's what Spielberg. That's the timing of the movie, more or less. And I didn't make that parallel at all when I saw the movie the first time.
I didn't until you just told me.
No,
that.
I was way too young to even look at anything on that level. I think I bought it at Best Buy as one of those $5 DVD buys.
Worth that shit, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've got that shit, so I'm going to watch it sometime.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you own it, you need to be watching it.
For sure.
It's no Lincoln, but it's great. I'm just kidding. Lincoln's slow. I tried rewatching that again recently because we were going to do a Spielberg thing. We'll do it eventually, but we were going to do one. And yeah, that movie's just fucking slow. I was right the first time.
one of my few Daniel Day-Lewis gaps too. Never watched it because I heard it was boring.
Without Daniel Day-Lewis, that movie would have fallen apart. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
like it would have just been a complete snooze fest. But because Daniel Day-Lewis is who he is,
so would America
so
without
magnetic.
Lincoln. So it works. America would have fallen apart without him.
Daniel Day-Lewis preserves the union of that movie.
Good job. Good on you.
Appreciate it.
The union.
All right. So my number 4 was the slight push from literally seconds ago. It was Dead Poet Society. Driving Miss Daisy can suck a dick. I really don't like that movie.
Still not seen this movie. Sounds like I need to.
Oh, you haven't seen? Society? Oh yeah, Dead Poets. Yeah. Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's I think it's a 1989 movie, so we're talking about it next year. But compared to other nominations, Born on the 4th of July, which is pretty good. It's one of Tom Cruise's better performances, and Field of Dreams, which I just don't get. Sorry, I don't get.
I don't like that movie.
God damn both of you! It's a good baseball movie.
I know. It's baseball, and I feel like you gotta have that extra. Movie. You gotta have that extra interest for baseball for some of this stuff.
Agreed.
My favorite baseball movie is Sandlot and Rookie of the Year.
Hey,
kids movies.
You know what? Sandlot might be my third or second favorite baseball movie ever because I fucking love that movie.
It's a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, but I did watch that a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I just don't get Field of Dreams. I'm sorry. I feel like that moment in I saw it after all the hype. I saw Field of Dreams after all the hype. Like How I Met Your Mother had a gag about it where Stella didn't care about Field of Dreams.
Oh,
and
yeah,
the guys
that's right.
were all upset about it, and I was like, "Oh man, is it that great?" And then I watched it, and I was like, "I don't get it. I don't. What's the appeal? I don't fucking get it at all."
You just got to know baseball, man.
It has
because I'm telling you, and this is
something deeper than baseball, but okay.
No, it's really not. And baseball movies rely on one very simple thing: that you love baseball because you used to play catch with your dad, and that's a very fucking real thing. And it manipulates the shit out of that. So it's cheap.
No sense that his wife would go along with him for this fucking asinine, crazy ass journey.
True,
and
but
not divorce his ass.
She didn't have any.
It's a different time, Jeff.
Yeah, different time, man.
Different time.
Midwestern
Also,
wives are more supportive. Okay? They'll let you go through a couple years of making mistakes until they call you out on it. All right. Building a whole fucking field over a farm, whatever.
Anyway, Dead Poet Society is I feel like the obvious one. I mean, I saw that the first time in school. And that stuck with me that hard.
Yeah, same here.
And Robin Williams, serious Robin Williams, best fucking kind. And this is like
my
first exposure to it.
It's crazy that I haven't seen like this and like Good Will Hunting, like all of his like serious stuff. And I'm like, I like serious Robin Williams.
This one's on Netflix. I haven't seen it in a long time, but this one is on Netflix. And you'll really love it, dude. It's Oh, Captain, My Captain is like an iconic scene, and it's still. And people make fun of it, have made fun of it to date, but like it still fucking gets me in this movie, in the context of this movie. It's such a great scene, and Robin Williams is great. Young Ethan Hawke's in it.
Super young Ethan Hawke, yeah.
Kurtwood Smith is in it, calling everybody a dumbass because that's what he does. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't do that.
Wait, is that the guy from that?
Yeah, it is. It's Red.
Oh, yeah.
Dumbass.
Oh man, I love that. I love his character in that show. That's the only reason I stuck with it after like literally all the principal cast left, except for like Donna.
And I'm sorry, who's the mom?
Kitty.
Yeah, Kitty. She's hilarious.
Yeah, she's great. Yeah.
Best TV parents of all time.
For real, because it kind of mirrored some. There was some semblance of what we had in our own homes in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
My dad tells me that show was like his life, and those were his parents. So.
And my dad identified with those parents big time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it transcended generations, that show. But yeah, Dead Poets is a great pick. JD had a little lower, so obviously he hates it. So
yeah, I hate it. Yeah, fuck your captain. Fuck everything about that movie. And you didn't do your serious Robin Williams impression, and that really fucking ruined it for me. So
yes, I'm very serious. Yes, hello.
there it is. There it is.
It just sounds like the genie trying to be really serious.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm picturing.
Yes, hello, really serious. Robin
Hey,
Williams.
a lot of being serious. Hello. Hey.
Hello,
Hello.
here to teach you poetry. Hello.
I almost just like I almost breathed out of my nose so much that the wine went everywhere out of the wine glass. That would have been tragic.
JD, what's your? Hey, man. Hey, real quick.
Hey,
What's
man.
your number 4?
You know what? Before I answer that, I want to go back to Army Hammer's balls. We could remove balls, but we couldn't remove a fucking mustache. Justice
Thank
League.
you.
We can
Thank
remove
you.
balls, but not a mustache. Anyway,
You can remove balls for probably like not. It was so little money they didn't feel the need to like express how much money it was. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
right.
So
They didn't
like,
make a big
but
deal
you
out of
can't remove a must. Oh, it just makes no sense to me.
It makes no fucking
It drives
sense.
me crazy.
That's been burning for like an hour, so I just had to get that out there. My number 4 is Star Wars.
Oh,
We're gonna push that just a
good.
little bit because it's literally my next number, which is 3.
That's
So
happening.
Oh, it's not even a push then, because you're next.
So yeah, so you go next.
okay. So I just started then.
Yeah,
there you go.
ahead.
Star Wars is like it's Star Wars, and no one's ever even heard of Annie Hall. You know, no one's ever heard of that.
No,
So,
never.
Nope.
George Lucas? What? No.
yeah, no one knows what that is. No. In all seriousness, I don't really give a shit about Annie Hall. I get it. Like it's
I've never seen it.
It's a classic or whatever. I could not tell you anything about that movie. I know we watched it in school for
Ted
something.
Mosby likes it.
It's true.
Of course he would. You know what everybody remembers though? Star Wars.
Yeah.
I bet when people walked out of Annie Hall, no one went, "How the hell did they shoot that? How the hell did they do
Yeah.
that? How the hell did they bring that to
It was
life?"
more like, man,
You know
that
what?
Woody Allen guy's a real creeper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a bit.
He's kind of just made you feel weird, right? Just the way he looked. Star Wars, everybody walked out of that. I remember my parents were like, you know, that's y'all's parents. Like they were probably obsessed with this movie, not because like they were big giant nerds, but because like no one had ever seen anything like that before, ever. You know, it's just it's monumental, and it's just a great fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's still your favorite Star Wars, isn't it, Jeff?
Yes, it is, and it's
Yeah.
I think it is the game changer for all blockbusters going forward. Like it really
totally.
is, and that's why I put it in my list at number 5. But I didn't put it higher than 5 because Annie Hall is a pretty good movie, and like I'm like, all right, I kind of get it. Like I kind of get it, but it's still fucking Star Wars. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like that's gonna be an explanation for a lot of the movies that I'm about to bring up. It's, guys, it's blank. You know, it's
You know what I mean, guys?
yeah, it still is. I regard it because it's a complete movie. Like it's you have a beginning, middle, end, but it also there's enough world building in there to be like, oh man, this is cool. It's something completely unique and inventive.
There's a lot of stuff going on
Yeah.
here, yeah. And you could never make a sequel. And like you said, that movie is complete. Like you don't have to have anything more.
Right, and I felt like
yeah.
Force Awakens had some of that too, up until like they did a really good job with Force Awakens and Last Jedi making them complete movies, whereas like Empire had this weird fucking cliffhanger arc. Like and they were just like, okay, well, we're gonna go get Han. All right, cool, roll credits. And I'm like, what? But they did a good job with Force Awakens. Granted, it ended with like Snoke going, hey, it's time for Kylo to complete his training. But still, I'm talking about like the way that somebody bested somebody in a fight and then they all separated and they got away. They destroyed the planet
There
or
was an
whatever.
ending of an arc.
There was an ending, exactly. And Last Jedi had a giant ending too. So.
Oh, guys, have
I
y'all
like the
seen
new
that
movies.
article recently about what exactly was Luke's plan in Return of the Jedi?
Oh,
No, I didn't.
If you have a chance, look that up, like Google it. Like, what exactly was Luke's plan? It is a hysterical article because literally his plan makes absolutely no sense.
Okay.
He just assumes that all these things are gonna go wrong. Like it's totally crazy. Yeah, I would not do it justice, and I don't want to steal this poor like person who probably spent a long time writing this like idea. Yeah, go read that article.
All right.
That's funny. But you had it on. You had it at 4, JD.
Yeah.
You kind of like it too.
Yeah. I think it's okay. I'm definitely not grateful for its entire existence and the joy that it's brought to my childhood and my adult life. So yeah, I just think it's fine.
It formed my childhood, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Guys.
There's a lot of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whereas Annie Hall, not so much. I'm not walking around going, I'm Woody Allen writing a script or whatever. Like it's not.
Yeah. Right.
Annie
No,
Hall,
thanks.
I might need to watch it, but I don't know. Do I? Do I need to watch it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's good. I think that is the best Woody Allen movie. Every other movie that I've tried to watch of his, and granted, there's an additional creep factor now. Every other movie I've tried to watch of his, I'm just like, I don't fucking get why is this so praised. Like Manhattan is a giant praised one of his, and he dates like a 17-year-old in it, and it's just, I don't care about anything that's going on in that fucking movie at all. Like, I just don't.
It's just weird. Like I know I can go back and just for comparison's sake, I can watch a Spacey movie and still view him as just Kevin Spacey because I've already had, I guess, thoughts and feelings about him as an actor built up over the years.
Yeah.
I've never seen Woody Allen in anything, so I'm just like, oh, it's that fucking child molester guy.
Yeah. Well,
like,
and knowing that
there's
he
nothing
writes himself a certain way or directs himself a certain way is kind of adds fuel to my hatred of some of his movies.
Right.
Like I've seen Radio Days, and which was praised a lot too, but not nearly on the same level as Manhattan. And I just fuck both of them. I just don't like them. I just don't like them.
Right.
Annie Hall, there's a relatable element to it because it's about a breakup, and it's not like about a breakup because he goes to date a teenager. It's not that. It's just a regular breakup, and it's relatable in that way. Anyway, back to my number 3. My number 3 is Fargo.
Push.
It's
a little bit of push.
Okay, yeah. I pushed him earlier for me. That was my number 5.
All right. So JD, what's your number 3? God damn it!
It's gonna happen again. Gangs of New York.
It's gonna get pushed. Yeah, you were gonna. Push that.
That's a push.
Yeah, because we're gonna talk about it right now because it's my number 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
now I'm on the same wavelength. Number 2. Wow, you guys fucking hate Chicago. That's cool.
Yeah, I have never seen Chicago.
I like Chicago.
So
yeah. I like it.
That's another one that I'm like just going like, yeah, that movie, that one, never seen it, but this one, there's the one. I have no shame. Yeah, man, Gangs of New York is awesome, and that's one of my favorite performances of all time. Like,
yeah.
I
Daniel
fucking
Day-Lewis and the Butcher.
love Bill the Butcher so much. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
He has a lot of just monologues, and I'm just like, oh, can we replay that real quick? No. Can we just rewind that just real quick, like?
Good mustache game as well. He's got the twirly mustache.
Very strong. He really got pneumonia because he wouldn't like wear non-era specific jackets. They're like, dude, wear this jacket. You're getting sick. He's like, no.
Oh my god.
The crazy person.
So, yeah, it's a crazy person. Yeah, like, dude, you're gonna die. You have pneumonia. He's like, I will not take any medicine. They didn't have it back then. So very crazy. Wow. Probably on set and everything. It is star-studded. Man, John C. Reilly's in this movie. Like, what the fuck?
Hey guys. Why are you guys like all fighting?
Oh, and he's here right now.
Well, yeah, I survived. I don't remember if I did in the movie or not. All right, I gotta go. All right.
Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I really, man, I just really adore this movie, and it's just, it's when here's Leo again, like leading a movie. Cameron Diaz is in it. Fucking Liam Neeson's is in it for like a hot second. He loves playing those priest parts and getting killed off in movies. It's like his favorite thing. Yeah. So it's my number 2. JD, you had it pretty high.
Yeah.
Why is this so high for you?
I recently watched this one again for the Villains episode that we did last year, and I didn't like it when I saw it in the theater, and it was because of some personal shit that was going on. Like, I just had other things on my mind. I'm like, this fucking boring ass movie. So I definitely didn't give it a fair shake, but I've come to love it over the years, and now, of course, with Daniel Day-Lewis being the god that he is, it's very treasured performance out of him for sure. Cameron Diaz is like gorgeous and all. I think she's a little flat in the movie for me, from what I remember. Not like physically flat.
I was gonna say that's rude.
Performance, not this. Look, this isn't Me Too shit. Okay, like as an actress.
No, I totally agree with you. But that's kind of her for me all the time when she's
true. Fair enough.
Doing like serious parts or whatever.
But yeah, man, as I've matured, my appreciation for this movie has come around, and Chicago is great and all, but I don't think I've rewatched that since I saw it in the theaters the first time, which might be my fault. Not that.
I think it's worthy of a watch, and you'll love the tap dancing scene with Richard Gere, especially.
I like the songs. Like,
the songs are great. You forget, like, I forgot at least when I rewatched it. I was like, oh my god, all of these songs are from Chicago. That's fucking crazy. I totally forgot about that. But I do love the way it's filmed because it's cinematic and there's a stage presence to it, like kind of like a Broadway show. And it's really clever how they did the tap dancing scene where like Richard Gere is doing some he's fucking lawyering the shit out of a case, and in between that they splice him like tap dancing and sweating and stuff like that because he's
there's like a court case going on while they're singing and dancing.
Yeah, dude, yeah, I mean, it's kind of intercut. It's intercut. Cool. There's like an actual court case, and then it's
read a synopsis. Read a synopsis.
I won't. I just would rather watch it than.
It's like a really good movie, I think. And Renee Zellweger kind of surprised me because I was like, why is she fucking Roxy? But it kind of makes sense. Unassuming is like that's the character's nature.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is really good, and Queen Latifah's really good in that, if I remember right.
Perfect casting for those, and Richard Gere is great casting too. I just nailed it. I saw it live in New York and on Broadway a few years before it came out as a movie. Like I saw it like the year before it came out as a movie, and that was a hell of an experience. And so it kind of soured my experience on seeing it in the theater for the first time. I was like, this doesn't measure up at all. Yeah. And then when it won Best Picture, I was like, get the fuck out of here, you know? And then I watched it again recently, and I was like, hey, man, young me was an idiot. Like, young me is a fucking moron. I think it holds up big time. And
all right.
Yeah, Gangs of New York is still great, though. It's just kind of, for me, it's like neck and neck, in my opinion. Sorry, I know that's like sacrilegious.
No, I mean, I get it. You hate, you know.
I hate Gangs of New York.
You hate the city of New York.
You don't like Leo. You know,
yeah, I hate the state I'm from. I hate the state.
You hate the state you're from. Yep. Clearly.
You don't like gangs. You know,
yeah, gangs are fucking terrible. They're a plague on society. Yeah.
Guys, I mean, the gangs are good. Okay, you know, I think they're great.
You had a really nice hat in that movie, John C. Reilly. Did you wear the hat that you were wearing?
Yeah, it's a really good one. Like I made it. You know, I made it myself with like a sheepskin. It was really hard, and then Bill took it from me. So whatever.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't know.
I like when Bill the Butcher killed the mayor in that movie. That was great.
That was great.
Good times.
I love when Bill the Butcher exists in that movie.
Yeah, I love that he's like in scenes and.
Yeah, my favorite part is every time that a scene has him in it. But no, specifically when like he wakes up like Leo DiCaprio and he's just sitting there and the American flag is like draped around him. That's like
that's
the most iconic scene for me. It's so
God, it's so good.
Yeah, it is great. Underrated Scorsese for sure.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
Anyway, my number 2 is Citizen Kane, and this is one of the ones that should have been disqualified because I didn't see the winner. The winner was How Green Was My Valley, and I think it should be retitled Who Gives a Fuck because it's Citizen Kane. It's fucking Citizen Kane.
Recognized as the greatest movie of all time by like every single list, and it didn't win fucking Best Picture.
That's fucking bananas, right?
That's fucking insane to me. And I've literally never heard of this movie that you're talking about right now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, never.
Nope. How Green Was My Rage Skirt? Like, who gives a flying fuck?
What? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, okay, whatever. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I know.
That made the biggest snub of all time.
Right, and this was around the time that the Oscars still did 10. They did 10 movies before they did 5 for decades, and so they even managed to squeeze in other nominees this year. And even then, I'm still like, well, how did you still like how did the voting go towards How Green Was My Valley? Like, it's just baffling. It's so baffling because Citizen Kane transformed the way people direct movies, for fuck's sake. It changed the way people made movies and told stories. So it's so confusing. Like, that's the main reason it's my number 2 is that the fact that it just didn't win, period. It doesn't even matter what the competition is. It doesn't matter who the competition is.
It even says on the poster that everybody was talking about it, and it's terrific.
Right.
And that's ridiculous.
And you know what? Casablanca won the year that it, you know, and that's regarded as one of the best movies ever made. And that won. It was very clearly a winner the year that it was nominated. What the fuck? What the fuck?
I don't get it.
Doesn't make any sense. And Casablanca had, I was going to say it had some competition, but never mind, take it back. I was looking at the list. It's a couple years later. And Casablanca came out of nowhere, too. That's like the Moonlight of that year, because they filmed it, and as they were filming it, they were like, this isn't going to work. This movie is just nothing special. And then it fucking just took over the world. And it took over the best movies of all time list and all that shit. They did not expect that. Citizen Kane, though, it's so wrong, dude. It's just so wrong. And this choice for me stands for like 2001 not even being nominated for Best Picture and shit like that. You know, it's just like, this is the type of shit the Academy does on occasion. It's just fucking horseshit. I imagine it was like the same stubborn old fucks that vote now. That just like, I guess the Academy's more diverse now. They've included younger people and stuff.
I actually think it's actually the same people, and they just freeze them and unfreeze them every year.
Right. Yeah.
So back then,
Good
it's those
point.
same people who are voting today.
That's why they can't spend the time to actually watch Get Out when they have to vote on it or
Yeah.
That's why
against
the
it.
post is like 100% going to win everything this
Oh,
year.
I see
Okay.
interviews with
I
anonymous
quit.
Oscar
that
voters
happens.
every single year. I see interviews with anonymous Oscar voters that are like, "Oh, I didn't care for this movie, or I didn't care for that," and it's like I don't have time to watch it. I'm just gonna vote for whatever my friends are voting for, and I'm like, that's the fucking problem. Like,
Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
because if another
Yeah.
2001, for
You
example,
should have to watch all the movies,
yeah, absolutely, you
and you should have to like be able to prove that you have a background and like a
Right.
versatile taste in movies
and
instead of like.
that's your requirement for voting for even being a member, like a voting
Man, that's
member.
crazy.
Like, did you watch the movies? Can you prove it? Like, send me a spoiler. Like, that's okay. If you didn't, you're not voting. Period.
Well, I mean, maybe they should. I don't know. Like, make people like show up to a screening or something. I have
Right.
no idea how they
Yeah.
would enforce that.
How
That's
many
impossible.
voters are there?
Too
Is
many.
it like thousands?
I imagine it is thousands now. Yeah, because there's some that are like just inconsequential. Like, I mean, in my mind, in our minds, in the collective public's minds, like like costume designers and shit that vote. And then there's some people that are legit actors that you know of that vote. And a lot of them, up until this year, were like older people that just voted for old shit. And it's just frustrating. And they take each other's word of mouths way too seriously. Like I imagine the way it went down when the year 2001 came out, and it did win for visual effects, so at least it won something and gave Kubrick an Oscar for something. I imagine a lot of voters were just talking to each other going, man, I hated that movie. My friend liked it, but I hated it. And it's just them going, man, if everybody didn't love it, why are we going to vote for it? It was just one of those things. I imagine it going down that way for a lot of movies like Citizen Kane that just don't get the win at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because there's something about it that, even though at the time, it's transformative. We recognize it as transformative for the area of film, like film in general. Now we do, but back then it was such a giant risk that maybe they just didn't. I don't know. They didn't see it that way. They were just like, it was weird how they did this and that. They didn't tell it in a linear way. It was weird having his camera just like kind of parked on the ground while he has a scene of somebody walking around, and it's like these are things that people haven't seen before. Maybe it just didn't hit them the right way, but still,
Yeah,
they're
right.
fucking
Maybe it's
wrong
too
for
ahead of
that.
its time.
They're fucking wrong for that. They need to recognize it in the moment. That's my opinion on it. I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing as members of the Academy, is seeing something that's extraordinary in the pile of ordinary and vote it as the fucking winner.
absolutely.
Goddammit. Anyway, that's my rant on my number 2. Who's next? JD, what's your number 2?
Oh, my number 2 is Push from earlier. It's Fargo.
Oh, okay.
And okay. Well, listen. Yeah. So it's just okie dokie. Well, see you around. But I'm watching the first season of the show, by the way, to get caught up on crime drama. And I know the show and movie, totally different things. But I love how they use a different word instead of previously at the beginning of every episode.
Yeah.
Like in episode 6, it was erstwhile on Fargo. And, and then this time, yeah, dude, every time it's a different fucking synonym for the same word. It's brilliant. So that might be fueling why I feel like this is such an egregious oversight for me and why I have it so high. But I look at the alternatives and, man, The English Patient, I think I watched that with my mom and just thought it was boring as shit.
Dude, that is, I watched it like a few months ago, and that is the most boring as shit winner to ever win Best Picture.
Even if Jerry Maguire had won, I would have understood that, because I can see where you were steered with that one. But I do not understand The English Patient at all. And man, Fargo is just such a classic, timeless movie from two of our favorite creators ever, the Coen brothers. And man, I love everything that they do. Like everything that they do. I can't even.
I know, man. I hear you. I mean, with the exception of like Hail Caesar, which I think at the time I was watching it, I was just expectations versus reality, and I think I need to rewatch that movie, honestly.
Yeah.
To be fair to it. I don't know. We'll see.
I didn't like it either, man. And I'm pretty, I'm pretty on board with like anything Coen, and I'm just like, dude, what is this movie? Like, I have no, like, this is just, it's too much for me.
Everybody has a miss, but man, when they hit it right.
Yeah.
And, this movie just has so much charm, and I love that the show emulates that without the Coen's direct
involvement. They nail it. It's
man.
seamless. You don't even know that the
perfect.
Coen brothers have nothing to do with it.
Dude, Billy Bob, Man, that's
He's
the
great.
closest. That's the closest thing to an Anton Chigurh that I've ever seen on a TV show.
Yeah.
That I can recall, where it's just this guy just fucking shows up and chaos circulates. And I know VM Varga in season 3, which is the only other one that I've seen. Is
I was gonna say,
similar.
yeah, the David Thewlis character was
Yeah.
kind of close to that too.
But Billy Bob has more of a, I guess, more of a personality. Like
Yeah.
you kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like you're more in his brain, whereas
there's
VM Varga,
something-
you're like, where's this fucking guy coming from? Like,
There's something attractive about that. Like, if you were in a room with him or something, and without knowing anything about him, you'd be inclined to start a conversation with him.
right?
You know,
right.
he just
Yeah.
seems like a charismatic dude. You know,
Yeah.
It's really weird. It's really really strange how he toes that line. I don't.
But man,
That dude's a mystery.
The characters in both, I mean, both seasons that I've seen, and then of course this movie, are just so larger than life.
Yeah.
But they're so, I mean, I don't know how to say it. Like, how many different Midwestern characters can you have that are all different from one another in the same basic universe? I don't know. It's just really impressive to me, and this is where it all started. So,
Yeah.
props, dude. Fucking love this movie.
Well, more important than that is that English Patient should not have fucking won Best Picture.
Yeah,
It's such
not
a
at
joke.
all.
Yeah.
At all.
Such a
What the fuck?
joke.
I've never seen that movie, and it just seems really fucking boring, and I probably never will see it after
it is
all
as
this
boring
reaction.
as it looks. It's as fucking boring as it looks. That's what's crazy. Like, you think with all the hubbub there would be something appealing about it, like a twist ending or something, and then it's like 3 hours, and you're like, oh, well, it's just boring the whole time. That's a fucking bummer. It's just so. It's such a frustrating movie. I can't believe it won over Fargo. Something
Don't
that
get it.
actually had personality, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
God, it's so confusing. I'm glad No Country won. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I know a lot of people will vote There Will Be Blood over No Country. Some people, at least that I've talked to, because I did see No Country again in theaters, and I'm just like, man, this movie, yes, absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
like oozes Best Picture quality type shit, and it won, and it deserved it. Whether that's a type of overcorrection for Fargo losing, I don't. who
No,
can
I
say?
think that I think
they
that
had it
movie's
right, though.
merits stand on its own.
Yeah, I
mean-
think it's earned
Yeah.
its
Dude,
own
that's
merits, for sure.
we've said this a ton, man. How is a movie without a score that fucking good? Like,
You don't even notice
that
until the
shouldn't
end. You're
that
like,
shouldn't happen. Yeah,
is that the first time I've heard music? Is the end
Yeah.
credits? That's crazy.
it's like Dunkirk with the Germans. You're like, wait a fucking minute.
It is. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And because you have shit playing on. At least for me, it's kind of like you create your own score in your head, where you have
Right.
these potential shootouts happening between Llewellyn and Anton or whatever, and they're at the hotel or whatever, and they're kind of stalking each other slowly and stuff. Jesus Christ, dude!
Dude, when they're like
In my
up
head, I'm like,
against the walls, listening for each other. Like, yeah. That's one of the most tense scenes ever, dude.
Some of the most tense scenes in cinema. Period. Like, it's just so fucking brilliant. It's so good. Oh man. But yeah, English Patient. My primary reason for putting Fargo and Dead Poets Society, which I haven't seen in a long time, so high on my list is that fuck the winners. Like, that's just such a joke.
True.
Comparatively, at least. So that's JD's number 2. So we're on our number 1s. I'm pretty sure we can all just say it's Saving Private Ryan. Is that right?
It's Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
That would be accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be correct.
That's talk about a conqueror. That's a conqueror contender. That's
Ooh.
what that is.
Start throwing that word around.
Yeah, I mean, it is a it won our
It's
war
up there.
movies episode. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
True.
Even after Dunkirk and stuff.
Over your precious Dunkirk. Yeah.
Over
Hey,
over fucking JD's
my
precious piece
my
of
precious
shit.
Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Like I'm on an island. on
He's
that
the
shit.
only person on this podcast that loves that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, what a piece of
That
garbage.
movie's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh,
But
Dunkirk needed
man.
more Nazis. 2 out of 10. All right.
Yeah, I needed.
I should be the one making that argument, and I don't even care. So
I know, right? You're the resident Nazi lover in film or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
It just felt like there was way too many British people in that movie. That's all.
There were, yeah, and you know what? I think they missed a huge chance for diversity.
Yeah.
Could have been women.
Where were the African troops in that movie?
I know. I
EoCs.
wish they would have put more women in that movie.
You know, like the admiral, strong character, could have been a woman.
Could have been a girl.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They did it in
yeah.
Star Wars. You know.
whatever. Yeah.
So,
You know, women can't
Unbelievable.
drive boats. Like, come on, they can drive boats.
yeah. Come on.
They helped at the end. You saw them.
Yeah.
Anyway, Saving Private Ryan was egregiously snubbed. This is the most egregious snub, I think, in Best Picture history.
I like your theory though of the Thin Red Line basically splitting the vote.
Yeah.
Like
Thin
if there
Red
were
Line
just
had
one
its fans,
war
yeah.
movie, then it would have probably that war movie would have won, but they were split. So
Yeah.
whatevs.
Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me because that year, let me go back to that year. Hold on.
People who
When
like
was that?
Thin Red Line more than Saving Private Ryan need to like leave.
Yeah, I would generally agree to that. Yeah.
Just go. Don't watch movies.
You're allowed to like both, but you can't like Thin Red Line
Say
more
one's
than
better.
Saving Private
Yeah, it's
Ryan.
because it's fucking
not allowed.
Shakespeare in Love, man.
Yeah.
Fucking Gwyneth Paltrow. No.
It
Yeah,
doesn't.
fuck out of here with all of that.
No.
I remember, like, man, that's another movie that just like everyone's always talked about. I'm just like, nah.
Which one is that?
No. Shakespeare in Love.
Oh, thank God. I was like, Thin Red Line?
No, it's so good. No, you
Yeah,
have
no,
to watch
Shakespeare
it. It's
in
so
Love-
good. I'm like, I don't want to watch that. No thanks.
And you know what?
I don't think
Another Fiennes brother fucking up the Oscars because he fucked up an English page. Rafe fucked up an English patient. Boring. This one's Joseph.
This,
brother.
yeah, another goddamn fine brother. Jeez. Yeah, the Shakespeare in Love I did watch because I was going. I was starting with the most recent Best Picture winner I haven't seen, and then going, backwards. And I did land on Shakespeare in Love at a certain point, and that's kind of what turned me off to that mission of completing the Best Picture winners watch through.
Damn, that stopped you in your tracks.
Because I was like, well, that and English Patient, like back to back, was like, Jesus fucking Christ, these are terrible.
I think I might quit movies.
Yeah, I know. If these are the winners,
Because
like,
that's a long
I
road
think
to
I'm
win.
done.
Citizen
This is the
Kane
best.
didn't win.
That is true. It's a very
You
long
know that
road.
60 movies down the road, you're going to be disappointed in the same fucking way.
Exactly. How green was how boring was that fucking movie? That's what that is. Shakespeare in Love is just not. It's just bullshit. It's such bullshit. There's nothing. Oh my God.
Wasn't Shakespeare gay? Like,
I don't.
wasn't there rumors
there's a
he was
lot
gay?
There's a lot of stuff you can infer or kind of guess on the history of it, and Shakespeare in Love took all of that stuff and threw it out the window and made their own story. It's just they just did whatever the fuck they wanted.
I love it. I love it when movies do that. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And the chemistry just didn't work for me at all between Rafe and Gwyneth Paltrow. I just didn't fucking buy it. Like 1 second. Like I was pretty sure he was gay in the movie. Like I was like, is he playing it feminine on purpose? I'm confused. Like I just didn't feel that connection at all. So I mean the title should have been Shakespeare Maybe in Love. I don't know, I can't tell. That should have been the title, the whole thing.
Shakespeare in Status. It's confusing.
I don't like
It's
that movie.
complicated.
When you compare it to something as gigantically fucking amazing as Saving Private Ryan, it's just the fuck kind of drugs was the Academy on? I don't even care about splitting the vote at this point. I don't care because
I don't care.
because Spielberg won Best Director, so it just it doesn't add up.
Yeah,
because the Shakespeare in Love director
so
was
dumb.
nominated and Thin Red Line director Terrence Malick was nominated, and they didn't win. So why the fuck did Shakespeare in Love win this? It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't. Doesn't add up.
Do all voters have to vote in all categories, or can they not vote at their choosing? Is that something that they
honestly,
can do?
I'm not even sure because I thought I read something the other day that was like, oh, if you're an animator, you can vote in the animated categories, but you can't vote in the other ones or something like that. But I could be wrong on that.
That's weird.
I don't know.
And maybe
I
something
can't
like
remember.
that has something to do with it. I don't know. This is just a baffling one to me.
It completely confusing. And Saving Private Ryan is just. I know that people. At least I've heard one person argue, literally one person, that the rest of Saving Private Ryan after the first 20 minutes isn't as interesting, and I just don't agree
on.
with
I
that
don't-
at all.
No,
Like,
that's not even true.
yeah, it's just not even true. Like, why
Yeah,
have an
it's just
opinion
not
that's-
even
that's
true. Like,
false?
I mean, that's cool if that's like how you feel and that's your opinion, but you're like your opinion could be wrong sometimes.
Like,
Right.
did you watch
This
a
is one of
movie
those
where
situations.
did you watch a movie where Upham was edited out or something? Like, that's some of the most compelling shit.
right.
Yeah, dude. As they all start, oh my god, yeah, I would even say that the final like fight at the end, like battle on
Yeah.
the bridge, is like
Yeah.
Oh,
just
man.
as intense as the very first moments of that movie. It's a different type of intensity, but it's
Yeah.
just as intense.
It's more. There's more emotion behind it, especially because we've come to know.
Yeah, because
and
you know
appreciate these
everybody, and
characters,
now
yeah.
they're all dying.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're very invested in everything instead of just watching a bunch of red shirts get mowed down at the beginning.
It's
Um,
what makes that trope that we talk about, where it's like, yeah, I got my wife at home and my kids, and I'm a teacher, and blah blah blah. Like,
And there's a whole
They
plot
do it-
device in that movie
yeah.
where you're guessing who Tom Hanks is or what he was.
exactly.
Like,
And so that makes you feel like one of the guys because you're trying to guess too. Like
Yeah.
it serves the story and the characters, and that's what when lesser movies with lesser characters try to do the same shit, you just don't care.
And I just
Yeah.
think it's interesting that this movie made me made me give a shit about what people did from home and how people can be different on the battlefield than how they are at home. Like I would not have guessed in a million years Tom Hanks was a teacher.
Yeah, school teacher.
Because he's such a natural leader and he's so good at protecting his own men and stuff. And it's just kind of like, oh, this guy teaches kids.
He was career military, you know? Like, this is what he always wanted to do. Yeah. No, he was drafted just like everybody else.
Exactly. You know? I appreciate that Christopher Nolan forgot. Whatever. He left out all of the backstory stuff because it's like, why Saving Private Ryan already did it better. Why bother?
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not trying to fucking go after that. You know, they already did that. So
yeah, and they nailed it, and they fucking nailed it. And there's so much weight to that final battle because of all the stuff we learned. But yeah, that opening 20 minutes is some of the best war stuff any battle ever shot. Period. It's just incredible, and you don't really see a Nazi up until the end when they start flanking the, like the trenches and stuff like that, and they start actually doing hand-to-hand like stabbing and shit like that. But because you just see bullets flying, and you're like, what the fuck? And everybody's just dying in front of you, and it's just this crazy perspective of being the invader. You know, it's scary as fuck, dude. It's scarier than most horror movies.
Yeah,
it is terrifying. Brutal. And I love the misdirect of the movie opening with an old guy staring over a like a grave or whatever, and then it flashes to Tom Hanks. But then you find out later, spoilers, it's Private Ryan, and he's saved and he's paying a debt basically with his entire family being there.
That old man looked a shitload like Private Ryan, like Matt Damon, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That could be very well what Matt Damon looks like when he gets old as shit.
As a kid, I was watching that going, is this real? Like, are they? Is this a documentary? What's going on?
Yeah.
I was an idiot kid, you guys.
Yeah. We were all there. I'm still there.
It looks like this is another movie we're going to talk about this year because it's a 1998 movie. So.
Yeah.
It's going to come up in our 1998 movies episode.
Probably just wins that year.
Yeah, it's probably just going to. Yeah, I don't even know why we would even. Yeah. Probably just leave it out of the tournament again.
Yeah, we may need a Dark Knight that one. So.
Yeah, it's a Dark Knight rule, you guys. That's what we're going to call it from now on.
Yeah, we should. Yeah,
we have our own Dark Knight.
We're going to have to enact the DK rule. So
yeah, and those are two movies that are probably going to be in Conqueror's Corner whenever we go down that route. So really, it's just a Conqueror's exemption. Like, take a break.
I think anything that we put into a Dark Knight rule, it automatically goes into Conqueror's Corner.
Exactly.
So we never even have to
that's why we're doing it.
Nominate those.
Yeah,
for sure. We'll include them in our 10 to let everybody know, hey, we're not crazy people. We do love these movies, but tournament wise, it's unfair. It's
we will crown a number
drugs.
2 for that year.
Cool, man. That's our list, Stickles, for the best picture losers, I guess you can call them, even though they were all great fucking movies and should have won. Mm-hmm. I did have some honorable mentions. Titanic, I would not have wanted to win. I wanted LA Confidential to win.
Ooh, yeah.
But it kind of, in my head, when I started thinking about it more, Titanic made sense as a winner based on what it did at the fucking box office. It, destroyed the box office, so it just... Whatever, it makes sense.
And
I guess.
For the time, that one was really groundbreaking. And back then, seeing several hundred people CG move around and do different shit. I remember them focusing on the CG boy that was like bouncing a ball or playing with a yo-yo in a production video or something. And they're like, this scene costs like $200,000 to make, and it's like 17 seconds of the movie. And I'm like, I don't know why. I'm 12. That's impressive as shit. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry.
They built half the ship for real.
Yeah, right.
That was always pretty crazy.
The front section was practical. Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense, but LA Confidential still dabbled enough in film and has a really cool mystery to it and a great cast that nobody knew about. Russell Crowe and Guy Pearce were just breaking in. Yeah. So I felt like, it's a great story. So why the fuck not? As Good as It Gets was also nominated. I could have made an argument for that one too, but
that's a good one.
Forrest Gump won in the year of like the best movies nominated for Best Picture ever. Like it just did. And here's what happened. Okay, I didn't see 4 Weddings and a Funeral. I don't know if that's good or not. But Forrest Gump won over Pulp Fiction, Quiz Show, which is really great, and The Shawshank Redemption.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I probably would have gone with Pulp Fiction, honestly.
Ooh, I would have gone Shawshank.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
I would keep Forrest Gump. So
damn, that would be interesting if we had a way to put these fucking things up against each other. Oh, wait, 1994 movies.
I mean, I think now Pulp Fiction might be my favorite movie, but
sure, me too.
I just think Shawshank is just one of those. Oh man.
It's this bigger, sweeping, epic kind of a movie.
You get
it's
17
just
different
more
movies
shareable,
in,
like-
in Forrest Gump.
I'm not going to
know?
recommend Pulp Fiction without being like, so how okay are you with the word motherfucker and other words? Like, there's that barometer.
How about gimp suits? Does that make
How
you
about
feel
gimps?
weird?
Yeah. Do you like storytelling that's not linear and people
what about
get raped
fucking
and
scenes?
Yeah.
like we're grown big men get raped? Do you like that? Is that in your wheelhouse?
Damn it.
Okay,
and
cool.
and you know what? And Forrest Gump did include some cool things with the CGs that could have justified its win with the Forrest
True.
interacting with all these historical
Oh yeah, and
people.
it looks good to this day. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
And
at that time, you're like,
Lieutenant
oh, yeah.
Dan didn't have no legs.
This is real. This is totally real. But yeah, Pulp Fiction I would have gone with because of what it did for independent movies going forward. Like that and the storytelling thing that Citizen Kane kind of did. This kind of turned that on its head and he just told stories whenever the fuck you felt like it, and you just had to connect the dots. Like, where are we in time? Like, especially the ending. Because, John Travolta in the middle of the movie gets fucking killed, and you're like, wait, why is he in the rest of this movie?
Right, yeah.
So you kind of have to piece together when everything is, and why John Travolta was alone in that scene. You eventually figure it out. There's just a lot. Yeah, there's just so much great writing in that and directing in it, and Christopher Walken's random cameo to explain a watch to his son.
Yeah,
It's my
Great
favorite.
scene.
I like
Great
that,
scene. Random
they never-
scene.
Up is ass.
They never explicitly say what's in the briefcase. I love that element
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah,
It's one of those.
It's his soul.
It's his soul. It is, but like they never go out of their way to say it.
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome.
Whose soul?
Marcellus Wallace's.
Marcellus soul,
Oh,
because he has
okay.
the he has the band-aids, the X band-aids on the back of his head. That's where you take the soul from. You
Yeah.
take it on the back of the head.
That's the
Interesting.
theory.
I forget what.
Rose gold.
Oh my gosh, I forget what religion or what culture that's from or whatever. But yeah, there's a very
That's a
elaborate
thing.
like
Okay.
theory that I'm just like, well, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that sounds real.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I never heard that until just now.
Oh wow.
Quiz show's really great too. So I mean, I can't even fault that because that's based on a true story about a show that was on the air at one point, and they fed answers to the contestants.
Oh,
to,
yeah.
keep things interesting and stuff, and
Who's
that
in that,
kind of
man?
changed the whole dynamic of like these type of game shows where they don't do that anymore. They have to do it legitimately. Yeah, it's a great movie, man. And there's an actor in it who's like the guy who's like the lead investigator over the whatever you want to call it. I don't know what the fucking word is I'm looking for. The guy who investigated all the claims that the answers were being fed. And I've never seen him in anything before. Hadn't seen him in anything since. And he's great in the movie. He plays like a Boston guy.
There's a
Obsessed
lot of people
with the quiz
moving
shows
in it.
himself, but he's like, oh, something's wrong here, and he digs deeper into it. John Turturro's in it. It's a great movie.
Shooter McGavin's in it. That's cool.
I like him too.
You'll like John Turturro in it because he's the guy who's like the champion of the quiz shows until eventually they find Ray Fiennes in it, who Ray Fiennes becomes like the new champion that the producers are obsessed with. So they give him an answer and tell John Turturro to duck a question. They tell him, you're not going to answer this question. And he's not happy with it. So he agrees to do it because, he has so much money, and he's like, all right, whatever. Even though his reputation's on the line, people are going to think he's stupid for missing the question.
Yeah.
And that's when he turncoats, and he's like, all right, I'm going to start, helping the investigator. He just wants his fame. He just wants to retain his fame, and that's going to help him retain his fame, but at the same time bringing down the show that sullied his name. It's a great fucking movie. Anyway, Pulp Fiction, I felt should have won. It's funny that we all have different Best Picture winners that year. Great fucking year, though.
Great.
Yeah, but those are like, I think Pulp Fiction and Shawshank would be definitely in my top 10, probably in my top 5 all time.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction's in my top 10 all time. Shawshank's in my top 15 at least.
Okay.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Great year. 2009 was one I had. Okay. Inglourious Bastards I would have picked over The Hurt Locker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a better made movie in my opinion.
Yeah.
I still liked Hurt Locker, though.
Yeah, I like Hurt Locker just fine, but Inglourious Bastards is just looks better and it has cooler arcs and separate stories and how they all converge. It's great.
Just killing Nazis, man. It's just, I'm not cool with that.
I
And the
knew
way
it.
he's like, the way he's like
Oh, whoops.
Nazis and stuff, it's just disrespectful.
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's not how you pronounce
I'm
it.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I knew that's how you
I'm
felt.
joking.
Rocky
It's
won
all-
Best
it's
Picture in
all jokes.
1976, and
Egregious.
I would have rather All the President's Men, Network, or Taxi Driver win that year.
Yeah, Taxi
It's
Driver.
crazy
would be
that
my
all of
vote
those were nominated
based on
in the
what
same
I've
year.
seen.
It's fucking insane that all of those were nominated. That's a good year. That's a really good year. But I would have
Yeah.
gone All the President's Men, and you said Taxi Driver, right, JD?
Yeah, Taxi Driver. I need to go rewatch All the President's Men because I was probably way too young to appreciate that the first time I watched it.
Any of these movies.
But I wanted to go see it as soon as I got out of the post because I'm like, oh yeah, that's the most interesting part of this story, and the movie just fucking ended right before it.
Ended right before the Nixon stuff. Yeah.
Good job, Spiels. Whatever.
I would have gone. This is controversial. I would have gone Sixth Sense over American Beauty.
Ooh. I disagree there.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love American Beauty a lot.
I also would have nominated way more movies because 1999 is in the same year. The Matrix should have won. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is fucking ridiculous.
I was reading fan theories the other day. Pretty bad. Pretty bad fan theories out there.
Fan theories about the Matrix? Or?
I'm just about the Matrix, like filling in plot holes with like
I see.
fan theories like that.
Yeah,
like, how did Cypher get into the Matrix? To talk to Smith because someone has to jack you in. So
he fucking did it himself.
He's a self-jacker.
You can't. No,
I thought that's what he was doing when Neo walked up on him, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
But he was not in a chair. He wasn't jacked in.
Yeah, but he was about to put himself in there. That's what he was doing. Like, because the next scene is him in the Matrix. I don't know. I thought he did it himself. I guess you're right, though. Somebody has to be there.
Someone is always there. No one.
Somebody has to run the program.
Everybody in the entire show has never done it by themselves ever again. So that's the plot hole then.
Maybe he found a way to run a script because it seems like somebody's there to actually
one of the start the. Which is actually a good one, which is kind of what you're running a program thing. He maybe just asked Mouse to put him in to meet the Red Woman, and then he went and talked to him.
True. It's true. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yep. And Mouse wouldn't give a shit. He'd just go on to jerking off somewhere in a corner.
Hey,
yeah, that's what he does.
Want some tasty wheat?
The other nominees for 99 were Cider House Rules, all right, Green Mile, which is great, and The Insider. And I'm just kind of like, where are all the other great movies? Like, 1999 is the best year in movies. What are we doing here? It's crazy to me. Anyway, Sunset Boulevard over All About Eve. I don't know why All About Eve won. And Sunset Boulevard clearly has more influence, whatever. 12 Angry Men over The Bridge on the River Kwai, which is my lowest honorable mention, because Bridge on the River Kwai is great. But 12 Angry Men should not have been good at all. And it was fucking amazing.
That almost made my, or will make, based on continuity, my 10 oversights. That almost made it, or almost will make it. Whatever.
Almost will make it for continuity.
I don't know where we are.
12 Angry Men?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We read it in middle school or high school. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember reading it.
And then we watched the movie and we were like, man, how the fuck did they make this good? Like, it's just crazy. It's so good. It's like the same director who did like Network and stuff. He's just all over the place. He's all over the map, man. Apocalypse Now lost to Kramer versus Kramer. That's stupid.
Yeah, that's
stupid.
Weird.
I've never seen Kramer versus Kramer though, but I'm just gonna assume stupid.
I watched it like when I was a kid. My parents weren't home, and it was on cable. Don't understand it. Still don't know what it's about. But I remember like, I mean, I'm talking child, like 7 or 8 years old. Like, there's no way I should have been watching that movie because it's very adult. I think it's about a divorce. So hence Kramer versus Kramer.
Right.
I remember seeing butt, like girl butt, and I was like, ooh, nudity. So I remember always looking for that movie when I was like surfing through channels, and it never came.
Oh, so it should have won then. Is what you're saying?
No, I don't remember it being like good butt. I believe it's just like butt.
Oh, it's
whatever.
Just a butt. Period.
Yeah, it's not like J-Law and Red Box Sparrow, but
Red Box Sparrow. That's what we're calling it from now on. Hey, you guys, mini review. JD and I saw Red Sparrow. It was fine.
Yeah, it was very tolerable, and yeah.
There you go.
Just Google J-Law's butthole. It's got more nudity. Just do it.
Oh my god. Anyway, but don't tell anybody you Googled it because you're a terrible person if you do that. All right, so
yeah, just VPN that shit.
We mentioned before we recorded that Wizard of Oz should have won over Gone with the Wind, even though, I mean, I haven't seen Gone with the Wind, but it's fucking long. So
yeah,
I'm going to assume Wizard of Oz is better than that. Raiders of the Lost Ark should have won over Chariots of Fire. Haven't seen Chariots of Fire, but let's be real. We got to be real. Raiders of the Lost Ark is fucking great.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? And I haven't seen Gandhi either, but I'm pretty sure E.T. should have won over that shit, so...
Yeah, I haven't seen Gandhi either, but Ben Kingsley apparently can play any race, so...
Yeah, apparently.
Transcends race, yeah.
He's amazing.
Yeah, he plays a black guy in that movie, too.
He plays both?
No, I don't know.
What?
He's like Downey Jr.'s in Doctor Strangelove. Speaking of Doctor Strangelove, it should have won over My Fair Lady. I haven't seen My Fair Lady, but I highly doubt it has anything worth talking about or debating as much as Doctor Strangelove does. It's more of a thinking man's war political comedy, and My Fair Lady is a musical. That's it. That's all it is a musical. So Honestly, this is ridiculous. The Academy, go fuck yourselves. So that's all we got for this episode. Best Picture losers. Next week we're gonna do TV crime dramas, I think, and yeah, we're gonna do a tournament on that.
Cool.
So it's gonna be fun. And The Wire's not gonna win because JD is the only one that.
Well, I mean,
literally
I'm outvoted, but it's on Crime. You know, if anybody wants to see what it's about, you know, maybe just watch one of the best crime shows ever. Maybe just
I'll watch like an hour of it, and that'll be my determination of if it's good or not.
God, you need more than an hour.
I know you do.
But look, I will say this: Breaking Bad is phenomenal. I'm going through a rewatch right now, and holy shit, like it could genuinely,
That
you're
could be
not
another
wrong.
Conqueror right there. Fucking.
You're not wrong for it being your favorite. It's just The Wire is where it started. So whatever.
Where it started.
Whatever. Legacy, what?
All right, guys. Go find us on fucking letterboxd.com. We are EoC Pod there. We have our lists up there and shit like that, and you can find our individual profiles there. I'll put a link there if it's not there already. And I'm Jeff Whitty, WIDDY on Twitter, and I talk about shit and stuff. And Kyle, you're pretty active nowadays. You're doing something fucking cool right now, actually.
Yeah, I'm reviewing a game, and I guess I can't talk about it until the 15th. So,
you've reached the point where your words are now embargoed, bro. That's
I know,
fucking
how crazy
cool,
is that?
man.
I didn't have to sign an NDA, which I found weird, but I guess it's
That
just
is weird.
like Scouts honor type stuff. So.
Yeah,
Right.
Like they gave you the code. No, like it's kind of like implied. Like don't fucking talk about it, okay?
Can't talk about it. Yeah.
That's pretty rad.
So yeah, I'm pretty stoked or whatever. So you can go check that out. I'm playing this long ass game. We'll see if I even make it before the embargo lifts. But I got a lot of time, so it's good.
That is
and you can go check all my other stuff out at Subculture. I just finished up a Dynasty Warrior review. That game is garbage. Watch me
fucking bummer.
watch me rip apart that game. It's fun. And then I stream sometimes. I ducked into Bino's Final Fantasy X stream last night, but I haven't streamed myself in a while just because I'm waiting for a way out. So we're gonna stream a way out all the way through.
Oh, I was gonna say you're waiting for a way out of streaming.
Yeah, way out the game.
Oh, the game Way Out. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, a way out. Yeah, it's Shawshank Redemption, the video game. So.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait for that fucking game, dude. Oh man, we're gonna play that shit so hard. You can play it with like other friends first, and then come back and yeah, like it's cool. We're gonna be able to experience different playthroughs and stuff.
Exactly.
I'm so
me and
excited.
Bino will play on the stream, and then you and I will play whenever the stream's not happening because I can't. We're gonna fucking tear through that game. It's gonna
March
be awesome.
is a good year, man, or good month.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking great.
March is my favorite year, bro.
It's my favorite year of the month.
It is my favorite year of the month. There's so much shit happening that it feels like a year. Life is Strange. The extra episode comes out. Sea of Thieves.
Wait, what?
What?
The extra episode of Life is Strange come out this?
Yeah,
awesome.
It comes out the same day that the disc comes out, the physical disc for the Before the Storm.
Talk about a game I need to catch up on.
And it's gonna be the extra episode is the Max and Chloe one, where they're like saying goodbye to each other. It's gonna be a good episode. Sea of Thieves, of course. Far Cry 5. Devil May Cry, which I've never played. Period. So I gotta get some of that shit. I gotta get on that.
Like the first one. First one's good.
And I like Scribblenauts, so I might try the Showdown. I might try it. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
It's
a fun game. I like fun game. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a fun game. And JD, you're performing butt surgeries, I think.
Many butt surgeries. Yeah, I'm gonna go get me a new scalpel. Actually, I wore mine out, so I'm gonna try to get that replaced. But you'd be surprised they don't provide that for you where I work.
I just played some fart noises while you were talking because it's butt
Good.
surgeries.
That's all that deserves.
Butt surgeries, and then I
Butt
played a fart
surgery.
noise. We are mature. That's what we should change the podcast name to. We are mature.
We are mature.
Very mature. We definitely don't say we definitely don't say retard on the show. We don't say
It's just a lie.
We don't say titties. We don't. We don't say any of those words. We're more mature than that. And
Can we
are
start?
very PC.
Oh no, we're not. That's the point. We're not. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So stay tuned for the next episode and find our shit on iTunes and Facebook and SoundCloud and come comment and rate and review and shit. So see you guys later. And I bitch that thing, here it comes. This is the real one this time.
Bye.